Hello world. This is Shruti Pandey, and today on Iti Shruti, I have the bestest manager I ever had. I'm going to proclaim it out loud. Ilya with me, who is a solutions engineering manager for the longest time of his life. I think I might not be wrong if I say that. And he can give you the years exactly how old he is in solutions engineering, not the age.
Solutions engineering years. They're
And
like dog years.
And I'll try to make it not as a one-on-one I always had with him, but more of a podcast for you guys, which is going to be tough for me, but I'll try the best. So thank you so much, Ilya. I hope you understand it's been the longest I wanted you on this podcast.
Shruti, thank you for having me and thanks for inviting me. And yeah, we disconnected a few times, but I'm very happy to be here finally and happy to talk to everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, like I was introducing, you have been in solutions for so long. Can you start with, for general audience, what solutions engineering actually is? A little bit about.
Yeah, I mean, I can explain it from my point of view.
Yeah.
I started my career as a software developer, and I didn't know that there was this profession, solutions engineering, sales engineering, whatever we call it, solutions architects. And so after working as a developer for a few years, I found a job called sales engineer, and that's how I learned about this whole profession. But for me, that job was very easy because when I was a software engineer, I had these, bugs that took a long time to find and fix. And the solution that I was selling as a sales engineer was essentially a bug finding tool. So I was an engineer selling to other software engineers, basically saying, "Hey, I'm just like you. I had this problem. And this solution is great because it fixes the problem in, 1 hour instead of 3 weeks." And
Yeah.
so anytime that you can, have a story like this, it makes it very easy to explain to an audience what the product does. And that's what solution engineering or sales engineering is, right? We
Yeah.
are the technical folks that are demonstrating some product that we're selling, and we have to explain it to the audience. So if you're selling a technical product to a technical audience, you have to be technical. You have to be, one of them to some extent. And so to me, that's what sales engineering is. It's basically being able to engineer a solution that fits the customer's needs and solves their problem.
Yeah. So I hope you guys understand what he said, and what he said is so brilliant and precisely why we connect. And I I loved working with him because most of the people in India either don't understand what solutions engineering is, and companies having solution engineering posts or teams, even sometimes they don't understand it. So yeah. But this is good. This is great to understand as a starter point. So how long have you been in solutions engineering, Ilya? Because you don't look your age.
So it would be 6 and 4. Yeah. So almost 18 years,
Right.
almost
So
19.
all these 18 years, because I think in India, if I talk about the Indian market, solutions engineering started, gaining stuff in the last 5, 6, maybe 8 years.
Mhm.
But solutions as a profession in the US has been there. You have been there in this. So how do you look at the transition solutions engineering had in this 18 years? Has the role transitioned? Has anything changed at all?
Everything always changes, but the more things change, the more they stay the same. So I think I can really only speak to my experience, and my experience has always been with small startups. And I've spoken to sales engineers from other demographics, let's say, that work for a much bigger company or that have a much more like well-established product. And I can see that their world is very different from mine. So for startups, and I mean startups like between 10 and 60 or 70 people, where the market fit is not really clear and the product is still evolving every day, and there's not a large track record of customer use cases and things like that. Solutions engineering, I don't think it's really changed all that much in terms of selling a technical product, right? So 18 years ago, we had a new product, a team of about 40 people when I joined. It was version 2.0 when I joined of this product. And it was very exciting to go out and see what people could, you have a product that works, you have a minimum viable product, but then every time you go to a new customer, you find out that they have some new use case or some new requirement. And I feel like, I'm still I'm currently, I think it's startup number 7 for me. And the 7th startup 18 years later is basically still the same. Like, we have a core product that works, but every day you find out some new use case or some new requirement. And so in my world, in this world, you had the same experience with when we worked together. Like, you're always trying to somehow in a conversation with a customer, when they're asking you, how can you help me solve this problem, you're trying to piece together something using the core product and some scripts and some duct tape and whatever you can to say, yes, our product can do this, even though it's more like, yes, we can make our product do this if you give us a little time, is the real answer. So I
Yeah.
think that's the kind of solution engineering that I'm used to. But I've spoken to solutions engineers or SEs from much more established, larger companies, and in a way, they have it a lot easier because they've been selling the exact same feature set for years. All of the customer use cases are understood. There's a roadmap that very clearly predicts what will happen in the next 2 years, and they know exactly what it needs to be because their customers told them, and they have thousands of customers telling them. So it's very, I don't. They're all the. It's not easy, but it's easier in that sense compared to a startup where
I need the name of this company.
yeah.
No.
Plus, I talk too much, so don't let me talk so much, Shruti.
This is crazy. This is crazy. So help me understand if things change, but they still remain the same. You have nicely put it, and as we duct tape things and give it to the market and give it to our solution to our clients, no wonders they named us solutions engineer for the same reason. For some reason,
Right.
same reason, yeah. So help me understand, like, what do you think would be the future of solutions engineering then? Is it just the same duct taping? Is it just, nothing new, or, the layoffs with which are going on, and the job market is so scary. So how do you predict the future of solutions engineering?
Yeah.
Tell
Again,
me.
I'll give you my answer. I don't know that
Yeah.
I'm predicting the future, but I I follow some sales engineer leaders on LinkedIn. James Kakis comes to mind, but um, I think one of the trends that I do agree with and I'm seeing is more and more the solutions engineer is combining with sales and sort of creating a hybrid half AE or half account executive, half solutions engineer type role. And we're
Right.
just getting more technical people that are able to sell the product because what we're also seeing a lot is, you know, products that used to be complicated and require a lot of installation and a lot of engineering work and feature development. Suddenly it's more like it's a SaaS. Maybe you need to write a Python script to do something, but hey, they all have APIs. And so,
Yeah.
now it's more like you tell Claude AI to write a Python script for you, right? So
Yeah.
these things are, everything is becoming faster and easier in a way. And so there used to be a very clear divide, like you would have sales and then you would have sales engineers. Again, maybe at large companies that's still very much the case, but I think as startups are trying to move faster, they're realizing that the same person needs to be able to kind of do everything.
Yeah.
And so I see solutions engineering roles really kind of shifting to be a hybrid, maybe still working with an account executive, but maybe doing more on their own that they didn't used to do, and having more of the sales side of this, of the sales engineer role.
Well, this might sound scary and fascinating at the same time. Sometimes we have actually worked in that fashion, right? Because you are the A, you are the SE on the same thing, and it's like, I mean, I'm just talking about experiences in general, working as a solutions engineer. Sometimes you are also being salesy, you're also being technical, and then salespeople are there, but you were doing all the job. So it has happened with me, at least in the past, where I have worked with A's, and not trying to take anything away from them, but yeah, probably taking everything away from them. But
No,
yeah,
I
I think
agree with you. I
it's better this way, that we get to be a hybrid in such cases, but it might be scarier for people who are not that people's person or salesy, and for them it's just the technical thing they would like to stick to.
That's a good point. I think one very important point you're making is we're not taking anything away from the AEs. Their positions are shifting too, so they
Yeah,
need to do more on getting leads into the door because that's getting harder and harder. So they
yeah,
take more time to identify the right leads. And
yeah,
that's probably one area where even as a sales engineer or solutions engineer, we are not very
yeah,
good at,
yeah,
being the first person to talk to someone and convince them that they need to look at this product and buy it. We so anyway, I think you're right though. Some there's always this mythical 50-50 split where somebody is exactly, technical and salesy in exactly the right proportions, but it's never like that, right? People lean more this way or more this way. So I think we will continue to see sales engineers either going into a place where it's a very, very technical sell and then they can be more technical, but they still have to be a little salesy, and then in SaaS or in places where the technology is better defined and it's not a very technical product, maybe, then sales engineers can do a lot more of the sale. But they still need to be able to do a demo and, kind of work with the technology. So they're still technical.
yeah.
So, yeah,
So while the cat's out of the bag, let's also talk about AI, because while we were discussing these things, we need to be, faster and smarter, and things, the product has to be so amazingly fitting into other people's solutions that it doesn't need anybody, any interference, not of a salesperson, not of a solutions engineer. So AI is also impacting everything everywhere, our daily lives. What do you think would be the impact of AI on solutions engineering?
I think AI is everything, everywhere, and all at once. And so no, nobody really has it figured out, but everybody is writing LinkedIn articles that say, I figured it out and here's what I did and here's my great result, but nobody can replicate the result.
Probably
So
using Chat GPT.
probably. So, but there are some interesting solutions engineer specific things, right? One is there are now many startups that are essentially using AI to improve and focus on the solutions engineering functionality to make you more productive. And I've noticed that it's all sort of the same general idea. Like, let's just record everything and connect AI into all the different systems in the company. Then we can correlate everything and then we can give you summaries and we can, maybe do your next step for you and try to improve your productivity by just doing a bunch of stuff for you. Right. And then they specialize. So Zoom has a transcription, but it kind of dovetails into, okay, but in addition to the transcription, I will also give you, advice from a sales point of view. Then there's tools that focus on like lead gen and picking out the things in the conversation that are sales triggers and other useful things. But for sales engineers, they seem to be mostly focused either on helping you do an RFP or helping you prioritize and like do the demo and sort of, anything and everything that can save you some cycles there. And again, I always point out that in a larger company where there's a lot of documentation, the product doesn't change as fast, the customer use cases are very well understood. Everyone always asks the same questions for the 10th time. AI is great, right? It can consume all
Yeah,
that, process it, and make things happen faster. But
yeah,
if you're in a startup, none of that exists. Like I literally currently am selling a product where we haven't quite put the documentation in the product yet. I mean, it's that, it's that scenario in a startup where the features are changing literally every week. The documentation doesn't exist. The customers are all asking for different things. AI can't really help me because it has nothing to, it has nothing to consume and then make predictions on.
right.
So I think that's one area where for some sales engineers, it really will help, a lot where they have a lot of, of the same kind of demo. that's something AI can probably do very well for them, right? And it can help SE managers to take all the sort of team members and level them up to whoever is the best team member in the company, right? I mean, that's the premise, but I think it can I think it can sort of move in that direction. But other things, if you look at the news and LinkedIn, somebody's always writing an article like, oh, AI is going to like write this whole product. It will make SEs irrelevant. It'll make sales irrelevant. It'll make marketing irrelevant. We're not seeing that. It's like AI has been doing that now for 2, 3 years, and we're not seeing this. And just the other day, I was reading an article that said like, oh, Claude created this whole thing in an hour and or in a day. Companies are not going to need SaaS anymore. They'll just use AI to create their own platform. And it
Right,
doesn't make any sense to me. Companies could always go and hire, some people for less money than they're paying to the SaaS subscription to create the thing.
right,
And they've tried, and it isn't as good. It doesn't work as well. You have to maintain it. You end up spending more on hiring people to deal with it, which is why SaaS was invented. So now AI comes in. Okay, so now instead of having 3 developers, you have an AI subscription which is consuming tokens and still costs you some money. But it doesn't matter, because whatever it builds, someone will then have to like plumb it into the system, use it, make it work. And by the time you do that, you'll need more things, which AI will build, which someone will have to integrate. So that to me is the side of AI where everybody keeps thinking it'll just magically do stuff, and it's not magic. It's technology. It has its uses, but it's not magically solving our problems.
and again, to train AI, even if you've done all of that, and you have to train AI by feeding your data, and like you mentioned, well, giving an example, if it's going to listen to whatever I'm doing or transcribing and trigger some sales alert, what about the security or safety feature of a product or a tool, right? I don't understand, while we are at, trying to be at the peak of innovations and everything and artificially intelligent, which is good, but again, it has to be at the core of safeguarding people's respect and values, right? Not hurting them. So it looks disruptive, right? Like we were talking about a little earlier. What do you want to add something about that or not really?
Well, from a security point of view, I think it's interesting because it's an opportunity, because it really is brand new and people are starting to figure it out. So I'm sure a few people that are already working on these solutions will end up with big companies that make lots of money, right? But I think you're right. Um, this is an area that's not well understood. We're creating things that we are releasing and seeing what happens and then reacting, which is where you get all of these news articles about some bad thing that AI did, or some new way that we found to get past the guardrails, or some new security threat. For me personally, I as a developer back in the day, I always think of the fact that we spent about the last, I don't know, 15, 16 years or more saying, let's shift left, let's test earlier, let's do things in development and testing. And now, just overnight, we completely wiped that away. We went as far right as you can. You say, AI, build me this thing. And then it says, okay, here's your code. It's finished.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, what about all that shift left testing and little iterations? And yeah, none of that. It's done. Here it is. It's a black box, by the way. You can't really
Yes.
test it well. So I have some personal peeves there. But what are you seeing? I mean, you work a lot with different environments, and you have obviously spoken to a lot of different people. What is your opinion of AI as it pertains to SEs?
So again, this is my personal view on AI. Like, I am not a very pro person. AI is good if people are using it in the right sense and the right stride. But again, it's you can't. I remember one of the HRs saying this thing, like you cannot homeschool people, right? You cannot train them. You cannot culture them. So if you are leaving a technology like that in people's hand, which they can do anything out of it, it's scary. Like in India, we have news where I'm not quite sure if it's true or false, but again, people are creating AI generated videos and photos. So there's no 100% accuracy of documents or proofs, right? If you are going to create something like that. So with every passing day, it just sounds a little more scarier because you can trust technology, you can't trust people.
Well, that's always been the case and probably always will be. But
So it's scary, and AI is good. but again, in safe hands. And like our superheroes always said, with great power comes great responsibility. If people are responsible enough, it would be great. But if not, then we are creating our own Frankenstein, is how I look at it.
I, I'm starting to think that AI is a misnomer, because there's a lot of different applications and a lot of different sort of point solutions that maybe are powered by AI, and some of them are very good and some of them are not. But when we say generically, like, oh, AI is good or we use AI, it's almost meaningless these days because there's so many different types. And it reminds me of, when somebody comes in and says, "Oh, you're a techie person, help me fix my printer," and you might be a software developer, you're like, "I don't know
Ah,
anything about printers," but to somebody, it's just like it's all print, it's all technology, and
engineer, so go ahead, do
yeah,
it.
so yeah, exactly. And so even with AI, I think what we're seeing is a lot of specialization. And so I wish we would stop talking about AI like it's this one thing that
Yeah,
is all the same and just start referring to the different technologies
right.
which might be powered by AI, because yeah, some of them are very specific and they have a task and they do it very well. And others are, maybe the task is scary, like you're making these fake videos or whatever. But it's not all this, like saying AI is not, it's not descriptive enough at this point. And I think it will just continue to um, it will continue to create more and more point solutions built by AI or on top of AI, but they will each be unique. And so we should start talking about the solutions themselves.
I mean, when all this crazy madness started, it looked to me like even Google was an AI, right? If we were to describe it that way, a couple of
Sure.
years ago. If we look at Google, we trained it, we fed data into it. Everybody, the craziness we did, we typed, we searched, and that's how it's trained today, a beautiful
Mm.
LLM. But now again, we have something on Google which would say, now this is the Google AI. It's just craziness. So yeah, I think it's become one of those flashy, salesy or markety terms where anything and everything, even if you're selling a tea, it's powered by AI. You're selling a phone, it's powered by AI. Like everything is powered by AI. So
Yep.
it has to be AI, otherwise it doesn't sell. So it's crazy.
Right.
Like how we were talking about cloud and SaaS a couple of years back, or just pre-COVID and post-COVID. Something like that has happened with AI. I don't know
I agree.
what new virus is this, but hope hope things would be good. So anything else that you would like to cover which we didn't cover during this conversation you would want to talk about before we wrap up this conversation?
What you mentioned that the sales engineering and solutions engineering role in India is kind of newer, 5, 6, 7 years. What do you think is the most important thing for somebody joining as an SE, in India? Like, what should they think about?
I think you should join as an SE after having some good development or testing or some coding experience. Many freshers these days think that they can directly join solutions engineer. You can do that if you have good managers like him or me. Sorry. But yeah, it's under proper supervision or guidance, right? Where you can train young minds and bring good SEs out of them. Otherwise, I think for any new solutions engineer, even back in the day, I used to say this, you need to have some good development experience, some hands dirty in some company, and then you can understand what you're trying to do, what you're trying to fix, and understand the whole story from, what is being created inside the company and what is being sold outside of the company. So, yeah, I think I don't know how many more times we'll have to say this, but yeah,
Good.
probably the last time. It's better to have some experience as an engineer and as a development person, because otherwise you will be used exactly how you were giving an example, right? Like, oh, you this, come and fix the Xerox machine. Oh, come and fix the printer. Doesn't work that way. So some experience in development would work wonders. And yeah, that's what I would like to say.
I agree with you. I would add, if you are, or if anyone is a developer or has that experience, consider looking into what an SE career might be, because it's very rewarding and it's very fun, and if you are the type of person that always wants a new project and gets bored working day in and day out on the same thing, but you have the software development experience, a sales engineering career might be very interesting, because you're always working on a new project, you're always working with some new technology. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, every day actually. Every day you're working with a different thing, with a
Yeah.
different client. And actually, I don't promote this more for developers. I do it for testers because I think the testing professionals, yeah, they can have a good thing, good gig at this, at solutions engineering. Coming from a development and testing background myself, I promote it more for them. I don't know why, but I do.
Nice. Yeah, it all promotes our backgrounds, of course. Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's always so fun talking to you, Ilya, and we'll always keep in touch like we do. But
Absolutely.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me your time.